Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Unparalleled Universe for another action figure review, and today we'll be looking at the Netflix Marvel Select Daredevil figure from Diamond Select. Here's a quick look at him in the packaging. You're able to see the figure. As you can see, mine is kind of messed up. The leg looks warped in there, but it's not a big deal since obviously I planned on opening it. And then on the side of the box here, you got some cool Daredevil artwork. That's artwork based on his look in the Netflix show. And then on the back, you get a look at the figure and the little base that he comes with. It's pretty cool, and there's a little description for him. And yeah, you know, as always, the Marvel Select packaging is cool. It looks pretty nice. If I was a mock collector, I would have been upset about getting this figure, but since I'm opening it, I really didn't mind that it was all warped. So let's look at the articulation here. So his head is able to go side to side and can't really tilt too much. It's on there pretty tight. It actually has a little bit of tilt to it, but it can come back a pretty nice amount, and it can look down a pretty good amount. And then for his torso, he has his torso joint that could rotate around, and then it could kind of tilt to the side a little bit, and it seems like it won't tilt as much the opposite way here, but it does tilt a little bit. And then you could get him to crunch only a little bit. I'm not a big fan of this torso joint, actually. Could only crunch about that much, and then he could only lean back about that much. You got to kind of work with it, actually. Maybe get it to go back a little bit more here. Yeah, see, kind of get it to tilt back a little bit more, but not very much at all. And then you can twist here at this torso joint, which is pretty cool. Then you could twist here at the waist. Kind of don't need both of those, but it's alright. And then for his arms, they're not on ball joints, so they could come all the way around like that, and then they could come out to the side. There's no upper bicep swivel. There's a single jointed elbow, and then a swivel at the elbow. And then it could go all the way around, as you can see here. Then for his wrists, you can swivel side to side, and you could hinge up and down. So I'm not a big fan of these arms, but it's alright. They're not horrible. Just kind of prefer the double jointed style with the upper bicep. Then for his legs, they could come out to the side. They could come to the back. They're the same type of hips that were on Homecoming Spider-Man. They could come forward about that much. Then you've got the upper thigh swivel. You've got the double jointed knees. Then you have the lower leg swivel. And then his feet can tilt up and down. And then they can rock side to side, of course. So it seems like he has a little bit less articulation than like Homecoming Spider-Man, which is unfortunate. I don't know why they don't kind of just stick to like a consistent articulation setup. But yeah, it's okay. And for accessories, he comes with a pair of fists, a pair of gripping hands that he could use to grip onto his billy clubs. And speaking of his clubs here, they're strange because for some reason they're like different lengths. As you can see here, I got these evened up here, and look how big of a difference there is between these two. Not sure what's up with that. Can't really say if that's screen accurate or something, but I thought that was kind of strange. And these things could plug into each other like that. And another cool thing about them is you could put them into his little holster here. Gotta stick them in this way. You could definitely get them in there and stuff. Kind of tight going in, but once they're in, they kind of go in there pretty easy and kind of shift around, actually. And yeah, there you go. Yeah, it even looks awkward there with the two different lengths of the clubs there. So I'm not sure what's up with that. And then he comes with this articulated stand. It's pretty nice. It's the same stand that came with the Nightmare Before Christmas figures from last year. There's a couple joints on here with screws on them that you could tighten up if they get loose. And it's pretty cool, but it kind of pops apart really easy when you're trying to stick the figure on there. So it's cool that it comes apart and stuff, and you got some different options. But it comes with this nice little diorama that looks like a garage door or like a warehouse door or something like that. And you got a little handle here that looks cool. This is just open. And then there's some holes here that you could use the little stand. Like you could take apart the stand and plug them into those pieces and things like that. There's a couple holes on the ground here. There's some cracks and stuff like that in the concrete. And yeah, this is a pretty cool looking stand. I kind of wished that there was like a piece of plastic or something in the center rather than just the open space. And here's what he looks like if you pose him with one of those pieces of the stand and you stick it into the back there. You could kind of get him into some cool jumping poses. For some size comparisons, here he goes with the Marvel Legends Netflix Daredevil and the Homecoming Spider-Man from Marvel Legends. Then here he is with the Homemade Suit Spider-Man and the Iron Man. I'm not sure what mark, but it's from the Civil War wave. Then here he is with the Wolverine and Civil War Captain America. And here he is next to Marvel Select Winter Soldier and DC Icons Nightwing. Then here he is with Marvel Legends Pizza Spider-Man and Marvel Legends Ultimate Spider-Man. And here he is hanging out with the Marvel Select Spectacular Spider-Man and Marvel Select Homecoming Spider-Man. And you could see that he's pretty much the same size as the Homecoming Spider-Man, maybe even a little bit shorter. And that's crazy. That's just bizarre. He should obviously be a little bit taller than the Homecoming Spider-Man because he's a teenager. But yeah, I don't know. So it's kind of crazy with Marvel Select and scale and stuff like that. So it's kind of frustrating that they don't stick to a consistent scale. Like, in my opinion, I don't mind that they're bigger figures, but they should be in scale with each other at least, especially like for the movie Marvel figures. But anyways, yeah, it is what it is. One big gripe I have with this figure that I want to point out is that it seems like his legs are different lengths. And I'm going to try to do a good job here of showing you what I mean. But yeah, check that out. It seems like one of his legs is like way longer than the other. And it's very frustrating when you're trying to get him to stand because it always looks like he's leaning, you know. I don't know, maybe I'm tripping, but yeah, it kind of just seems like one leg is longer. I mean, you know, certain poses it won't even matter, most poses it won't even matter, and you could kind of work it, but it's just a little frustrating when you're trying to get them to just stand up straight for size comparisons. And now let's look at the sculpt here. The sculpt is really nice, and so the paint is okay. You can see it's a little sloppy on mine. There's some pink on his, like below his lip where it shouldn't be, and then the mask line isn't as clean as it should be. Other than that, I don't have any big problems with the paint. And the sculpt is really nice. I do kind of wish that it wasn't so flat. I wish there was more details on all the red part here. Kind of like the Marvel Legends one. It kind of looks like felt material. But on this one here, he's just kind of flat in those places. And of course, he's got these weird hips that no one likes. It kind of looks awkward sometimes. But yeah, it's not a huge deal. I kind of don't mind him as much here as I did on Spider-Man. One thing that's pretty cool is there's some mud on the boots. That was awesome. Nice little detail there. Then you got some wrinkles here. I really wish that it had that like felt fabric look to it, you know, just like the Marvel Legends one. I don't know, kind of sucks that it just looks flat, but you know, as far as accuracy, it seems like it's pretty accurate to Season 2 Daredevil. So that's pretty good. Yeah, overall they did a good job on the sculpt. I'm not mad at the sculpt really. But yeah, he looks very good, and you know, the paint is decent. It could have been a little bit better. So overall, I do like this figure. I'm not crazy about it because there's a few things that I was a little bit disappointed with, like especially the thing with his leg and the paint on his face. You know, those are the two big gripes that I have. And you know, other than that, he's just not that fun to pose and play with. He looks great and he's really screen accurate, so I'm very happy about that. And he does look cool once you get him into some cool poses, and you could throw him on your shelf and you'd be happy with it just like that. But like I said, he's not very fun to pose and play with. But yeah, overall, I'd kind of say I thought that I'd like him a lot more than I like the Marvel Legends one. But I'd say if anything, they're probably even, maybe even the Marvel Legends one just a little bit better by a hair. I wasn't crazy about that figure either, but you know, I don't know. Overall fun factor, I'd say I'd give it to Marvel Legends, but this one definitely looks better. So you know, it's up to you what you want to do. But anyways, one thing that I was, you know, that drives me crazy with Marvel Select. Sometimes it drives me crazy. It doesn't always drive me crazy, but in this case it does. Is the scale thing. You know, like I said, I don't know why. I'm not sure how they gauge their scale or whatever. It kind of feels like if you're gonna do the Marvel MCU stuff, that they should at least be in scale with each other. They don't necessarily have to be in scale with the comic book stuff, but you know, they should be in scale with each other at least. So I don't know, I'm not sure what they do, but it's crazy that him and Spider-Man are the same height. That's crazy to me. But anyways, overall he's a pretty cool figure. I'd suggest picking him up. You know, I feel like I got my money's worth for the $25. Of course, Marvel Select always has the cool bases and pretty cool figures, so I'm never too upset with Marvel Select stuff. But yeah, you know, overall it's a cool figure. I thought I'd like a little bit more, but it's okay. Anyways, thank you very much for watching. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. As you can see here, I did a yellow background instead of a white background. I wanted to change things up a little bit every now and then, so let me know what you thought about that. And yeah, that's it. Thank you very much. Peace.